Good afternoon, Oakland and beyond. Hope everybody's doing okay out there on this very smoggy and smoke-filled Friday afternoon in the Bay Area. Of course, we have a lot of fires, unfortunately, burning around not just the Bay Area, but the entire state as well. So make sure you all are safe out there. Try to avoid actually going out as much as you can unless you absolutely need to. And be like us pretty much and stay your butt indoors as much as you can, as we get set to come at you again for another exciting edition of your number one source for everything and anything on your Oakland Athletics. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to show number 271 of A's Fan Radio, and the third of these uncut, no music, no real commercial break editions of the show we're doing until the new Dub 6 Studios is set up and ready to go with the Wi-Fi and all that for us to return to our regularly presentations of this show, but this is what you get for the time being. And on that note, what's going on, everybody? It is the legally 5150 corporate right field asshole checking in from my temporary spot until the new Dub 6 Studios is ready next week, the Sweat Paddock, which is about 7 minutes away from the new Dub 6 Studios. Sitting down here with my bird's eye view of the deep east like Batman poised up on the skyscrapers of Gotham City, and just, man, it's been real weird looking out there the last couple of days, folks, with all this smoke hanging around in the air. So as I stated again, if you really can, try to avoid going out as much as you can, unless you absolutely need to, which many of us should be doing anyway, obviously, with the pandemic still going on and whatnot. And obviously, not alone for this edition of the show, as I am, of course, joined by the other half of what's become known as Internet Radio's most dynamic duo. Checking in from the Boss Pad in Alameda is none other than the main man, the Boss Man. Boss, what's up?
Not much, man. Just, man, the air stinks right now in the East Bay, man. You know, all these fires happening in Northern California. I hope everybody's staying safe or what have you, and, you know, having a mask on and stuff. Now you see you need these masks not just for COVID, but for the damn air quality, man. Just, you know, I work in downtown Oakland, and it just smells bad there. Obviously, you know, in downtowns, a lot of people are walking around, and their cars, for that matter, that are, you know, really prevalent in downtown America. So it just adds on to it, though, man. But outside of that, I'm feeling cool. You know, baseball season, the dog days of August, man, are live in effect, and you got the NBA playoffs, which have been pretty damn good. NHL playoffs been pretty good, and you got MLS soccer. So you just got a lot of stuff going on in the sports world. So very fortunate and happy to be here with you guys again. I know I missed last week and other stuff come up, but I'm ready to rock and roll, brother.
Definitely same here as well. And speaking of NBA playoffs, before we get into our normal shenanigans here to start off the show with, quick shout out to Oakland's own Damian Lillard for his ridiculous half-court shot that he hit the other night. I'm pretty sure many of you saw the tweet that I put out, tweet and post that I put out on the show's Twitter page and the Facebook page about just how, man, you know, with the Warriors selling out on us and moving to San Francisco, I think that I could speak for a lot of us out there and saying just, man, we can appreciate Damian Lillard a lot more than I feel that we used to, because just with the whole Warriors jail, I want to still call them the Jailblazers from all that drama back in the 90s, but just with the whole Warriors Trailblazers rivalry, I feel like some of us kind of underappreciated Damian a lot more than we really should have been. And obviously, it's just great to see another athlete from Oakland continue to dominate in a professional sport. On that note, let's go ahead and get on into our normal shenanigans here. I would say our normal shenanigans in the first half of the show, but obviously with this little altered version of AFR that we're doing for the time being until the new Dub 6 Studios is ready to rock and roll, we'll see how many segments exactly we have here over the course of this broadcast. So let's go ahead and begin, of course, with recapping the last week's worth of Oakland Athletics baseball. And we, of course, will kick things off going back to last Friday when the Oakland Athletics began the first of two series that will be part of the 2020 edition of the Battle of the Bay. The first series, of course, taking place over at Oracle Park in San Francisco last weekend. And here's what went down in the first game of this three-game series between your green and gold and the hated orange and black from across the bay. The Giants would score first in this contest when they would plant the first run of the game in the bottom of the first inning. They would also score 3 runs in the bottom of the third and 2 runs in the bottom of the fourth, leaving many of us to feel halfway into this game great. we just played ourselves into a damn trap game. Well, unbeknownst and little known to us, let's just say your Oakland Athletics would turn things around in the later half of the game and make a very interesting night and very interesting thing of things over there at Oracle Park. The A's would finally get on the board with 2 runs in the top of the 7th before the Giants would score what would ultimately end up being their final run of the game in the bottom of the 8th. From that point forward, it was all Oakland Athletics, as the A's, of course, dropped a 5-run spot in the top of the 9th. Some of those runs, of course, being courtesy of a grand slam off the bat of Stephen Piscotty. And, of course, they would score a go-ahead run in extra innings, or what, of course, we refer to as Wacky Baseball 2020 this year, with, of course, the runner on second to start things off and, the half innings and all that. Pretty much, basically, to sum things all up, what ended up initially looking like a trap game turned into a W, as your Oakland Athletics go on to beat the Giants in the first game of the 2020 Battle of the Bay by the final of 8-7. Oakland 8 runs, 8 hits, 1 error. San Francisco 7 runs, 13 hits, and no errors. Storia picking up the win for the A's, improving to 2-0 on the year. Garcia taking the loss for the Giants. He falls to 0-1 on the year. And Liam Hendricks picks up his 6th save of the year for the green and gold in this contest. Home runs in this one, you already, of course, heard me mention the Piscotty grand slam that was hit in the top of the 9th, Piscotty's 3rd home run of the year. You also, earlier in that top of the 9th, had Matt Olson going deep for the 7th time in 2020. Just give me a second here to flip things over onto the Giants side to see who went deep as far as them went. Over on the Giants side, you had Longoria go deep for the 2nd time. Hunter Pence went deep for the 2nd time as well this year. And the grandson of Yaz going deep as well in this contest, his 5th bomb of the season in this one. Back over onto the A's side of things to break down the pitching starting in this. Jesus Luzardo got the start in this contest. He only lasted 3 1/3 in this one as he kind of faced his first real rough-up outing as a Major League starter. 9 hits, 6 runs given up, all 6 of those runs being earned. 2 walks, 3 strikeouts, and 2 home runs given up before giving away to Wendelken, Trevino, McFarland, Soria, and Hendricks. Man, boss, that was a very, very crazy game Friday night. I want to hear your perspectives and your thoughts on the shenanigans we saw unfold at Oracle Park last Friday evening.
Dude, I mean, these, I drink anyway, but goddamn, do they ever make you want to drink sometimes? Luzardo just didn't have it. I mean, in the maturation process of this phenom, he's going to have difficult moments like this, people, where the fastball is not cutting or hitting the certain cold spots on the hitter. I thought he was missing a lot. He didn't look poised out there as we got accustomed to seeing him in the few appearances he had this year. But, you give credit to the Giants. They were looking for the fastball. Longoria hit that thing a country mile when he got it. It just one of the things that happen, ladies and gentlemen. And we just have to accept it and move on and hope that that's just a blip on the radar for somebody as talented as Jesus. But, I think when you see games like this, they come back. Yes, the Giants are a rebuilding franchise. They've had a lot of success. Gold reports of, I'll say, from 2010 to 2016. They had some good runs and stuff, had some playoff wins, got some World Series, obviously. But, they're going into a different direction. And when you are able to get wins like this, it bodes well for your team, especially when on the road, given the adversity. And, just the embarrassment. The A's are getting their ass kicked by the Giants. I mean, the Giants conceivably should have won this game. I think really what was key in this game, when it was 6-0, and Canna and Robbie Grossman, Robbie, like we like to call him, them having back-to-back hits. Their back-to-back hits really helped the A's. And with that, Robbie Grossman getting the triple after Canna got the single, you set up a situation where Chris Davis, who struggled mightily this year, was able to ground out the shortstop and was able to get the game to 6-2. So, you're giving yourself a puncher's chance when you're able to get some runs later on. that bullpen, as I was saying before the series, is not good. We knew coming in at this, these were some trap games, but the A's have the ability to really catch people in the later innings, and I just go to the ninth inning after Lil Yaz had knocked that home run with 7-2. You're just like, it's just another night. And Boston's in downtown Oakland, actually, though, which is crazy. I was in downtown, seeing a friend before he leaves out of town because he's ready to go back on the ship. And man, I knew that Olsen knocked it a dinger. I'm like, I'm 7-3. And so I looked on my NBC Sports app or what have you, and I was looking, and I was like, okay, it's 7-3, whatever. And then Canna walked. I was like, oh, okay. Canna walked. The man on. They'll try to make it interesting. I'll turn away. So I go and, get some alcohol. I get down. And I'm, sitting over by the bench we over about Oakland, this reputation. My partner, my brother texts me, oh, my God. And I was like, what? He said, Piscotty hit a grand slam to tie it. I said, no. So, I take the game. So when I got to go back home and look at it, I tell you though, man, the guy over there that got Robbie Grossman on, and then Dave was able to get hit by a pitch, bases get loaded. Piscotty saw a hanger and just absolutely, not a hanger, but he got the pitch he was looking for, a hanger, but he got the pitch he was looking for, and he smoked it. And you knew it. As soon as he hit it, you were like, yeah, this sounds about right. Gone. And, you kind of figure when you give up something like that, something is going to occur. And so when the A's got to the top of the 10th, I pretty much was confident that they were going to win. I didn't have to look at the score anymore. Like, the A's are going to win this game. This is just a meltdown. And, with Chapman obviously starting to think with the wacky rules, hey, man, small ball sometimes. Move the runner over. Good job by Olsen. And, hey, sacrifice fly by Canna, bring them on in. Liam Hendry closes the door. When you're trying to win a series, man, it's just key to get that first one. It's always key to get that first one. And credit to the Oakland A's, man. They went and got that first one, and they did it in, I'd say, in a mighty fashion, though. Mighty fashion. Good stuff. The Astros have won again that night, so you got to make sure you keep the lead on them after building up to a 5.5 game lead, man.
Interesting night for sure over there in San Francisco. And the crazy thing was, it was just the first game of this 3-game series. And we're going to go ahead and take a look now at what went down in the second game of that 3-game series. And kind of a little bit of almost what played out the previous night would play out again, except the A's wouldn't need to go into extras this time. So let's go ahead and take a look at what went down on Saturday, August the 15th, over there at Oracle Park. Oakland would score first in this one when they would plant the first 2 runs of the game in the top of the 3rd inning. That lead would be short-lived, however, as in the bottom of the 4th inning, the Giants would promptly take a 1-run lead when they dropped a 3-run spot on the A's. The A's would go on to tie the game up with a single run in the top of the 6th inning before the Giants would retake the lead with a 3-run spot in the bottom of the 7th. Unfortunately, though, for the Giants, the 8th and 9th ended up being goose eggs for them. And also, unfortunately for them, this would be the second game in a row, I should say, where the bullpen would end up blowing it late in the game yet again, as the Giants pen would surrender 4 runs to your green and gold in the top of the 9th inning. And yet again, it was Gott who got smacked around. And also, after this, of course, if you didn't know, Gott would end up blowing yet another game when he pitched against the, I believe it was the Angels, Astros, whoever the hell, I think it was the Angels. But Gott basically, this was the middle of like 3 games he's pitched in, where he basically gave it up the arse to the opposing team. Pretty much, though, ended things. Your Oakland Athletics on top yet again for the second day in a row, beating the Giants again late in a contest by the final of 7-6. Oakland 7 runs, 10 hits, 2 errors. San Francisco 6 runs, 7 hits, and no errors in the contest. McFarland picking up the win for the A's, improving to 2-0 on the year. As mentioned, the second game in a row where Gott got smacked around by the A's offense, falling to 1-1 on the year after being handed the L. And Liam Hendriks slamming the door yet again for the second game in a row to pick up save number 7 on the 2020 season. Home runs in this one. On the A side, you had the Sass, Marcus Semien, going deep for the second time this year. Matt Olson also going deep again for the 8th time this year. Sean Murphy hitting his second home run of the year. And, of course, bat-flipping season extraordinaire Mark Hanna going deep for the second time in 2020 as well. Over on the Giants side, only home run coming off the bat of Roof, his first home run of the year in this contest. Pitching-wise for the A's in this one, you had Sean Manaea get the start in this one. Lasted 5 innings, 3 hits given up, 3 runs, 2 of those runs being earned, 1 walk, and 5 strikeouts before, of course, Smith, Trevino, McFarland, and Hendricks came in to close out things on the back end. So, yet again, boss, 2 days in a row where the A's easily could have been looking at back-to-back losses, but instead they pull out back-to-back W's from the jaws of defeat.
Yeah, man. What a wild game. I was down in the Monterey area watching the game, and all of a sudden, man, electricity goes out in the hotel, man. So, obviously, got to get on my NBC Sports app. Had to go check it out. I thought that Sean Manaea had pitched well up to the point where, he got the Little League home run and was able to put him up 3-2. It's just one of those things where when Manaea, when he kind of goes off track, he really goes off track. And I hate that. I hate that for him because he has been a very steady pitch for us. Just came over from the Royals. I think he was in that Ben Zobrist trade. So I feel all kinds of sorry for him, but at the same time, you got to get stuff done, and the manager's struggling with this. Let's not sugarcoat it. Let's not paint a false picture. He just is. But much props to the A's. I mean, I think the long ball has been our best friend. It'd be nice to see us manufacture some runs where we're not putting ourselves in this position, but that's just not the case. What I want to see going forward with the A's in particular is not necessarily these guys just swing for the fences, man. You guys are going to have to realize that you have to, make things happen on the base path, get some hit and runs, some bunt, some punch and juke singles, or try to get some doubles. I mean, you can't play a long ball because it doesn't work in the playoffs. But I'll tell you this, the key to that comeback, the real key, and I'm telling you the truth, was none other than Tony Kemp. That double that he was able to get, that double was so huge. I mean, obviously we know the job that somebody such as what's his name, Sean Murphy. That was just huge. It was lovely that he was coming that home run, but Kemp needed a base runner, and Kemp being a base runner made something happen that we really needed to happen. I mean, it needed big time to really occur. So, I knew Cano was coming up, and I saw that it was 3-2. I said to myself, if this sucker rolls a fastball, you know what I'm saying? Oh, you almost got that. If this sucker throws a fastball, that this game is going to be over. And as soon as he let it go his hand, I'm like, man, you cannot throw Mark Cannon. You cannot throw him a damn, you missed it. You cannot throw Mark Cannon a fastball on 3-2. He's too good. He's too good of a hitter, though. That's one thing about him. You need to throw him a break ball, a slider. You cannot throw him a straight line fastball. He's going to crush it. He's going to send it far. He said he was aiming to hit it because he read the guy. You feel bad for a guy such as Guy. You do back-to-back nights like that, it's demoralizing. But hey, you put Liam Hendriks right up in the position to win. What's Liam Hendriks going to do? What does he do every time for you? Close the door, baby. Close the door, and that's what he did. And you know what? Hey, another big win for the Oakland Athletics.
I always love, by the way, too, how when we do these shows, sometimes how either yourself or myself will get distracted by whatever sporting event we happen to be watching on the TVs. I happen to catch there. You're probably watching some game there, talking about somebody missing something. But yeah, it's always great and interesting whenever something like that happens. Let's go ahead now and find out what would go down in the finale of this early edition of the Battle of the Bay. Before the A's, of course, would close things off with the Giants on this one. And let's just put it this way. It would not be a repeat of the previous two games. Let's just say when everything was all said and done, one team pretty much got, how should I put it, not curb stomped, but kaiju stomped in this contest. Here's what went down back on Sunday, August the 16th. Both teams would each score single runs apiece to open up the scoring for each team, with the A's scoring a single run in the top of the second and the Giants scoring a single run in the bottom of the second. Both teams would then repeat the same cycle in the third inning before we get to the fifth inning, and things would just completely unravel for the Giants pitching staff as the A's would score 9 runs in the top of the fifth inning, and then would all go on to add on 2 more in the top of the sixth, before the Giants would score what would end up being their final run of the contest in the bottom of the seventh. Just for the hell of it, and I guess for insurance purposes, even though they really had a crap load of insurance runs at this point, the A's felt the need to tack on 2 more runs in the top of the 8th inning as they cruised to victory in this one and unleashed Kaiju mode for the first time in 2020, defeating the Giants in a blowout by the final of 15-3. Of course, looks like a football game. Basically, Oakland scored 2 touchdowns, missed the extra point, and got a safety to the San Francisco's field goal in this contest. Oakland, 15 runs, 17 hits, no errors. San Francisco, 3 runs, 9 hits, and 1 error in this game. Mike Fiers picking up the win on Fiers Day in this contest as he improves to 2-1 on the year. Webb taking the loss for the Giants as he falls to 1-2 on the season. Home runs in this one, you, of course, had one coming off the bat of, oh, yes, he's the great Chad Pender. Made it 4-2 with his bomb. Second home run of the year for Pender in the contest. You also had Stephen Piscotty, who's continuing to swing a hot stick, going deep for the 4th time as well. And, of course, the sauce, Marcus Semien, hitting his 3rd ding-dong doodle of the 2020 campaign. Over on the Giants side, you had Brandon Belt sneak one out during the second inning of the game. Obviously, for those watching at home, and obviously with knowing that the TV play-by-play crew and the radio play-by-crew for the A's isn't over there. They're doing all the broadcasts from the Coliseum. Kind of a little bit of an issue with them trying to figure out if the ball was fair or foul when Belt hit it. But Belt, of course, getting his 2nd home run of the year. You had Crawford also getting his 1st home run of the year in a season, of course, where a guy that normally has been used to being a starter over there and, of course, grew up a lifelong Giants fan, is now finding himself in a situation he's never been in before, which is platooning at shortstop over there in San Francisco. So, anyway, back over onto the pitching side of things in this one. You had, got a little ahead of myself there. Again, as mentioned, you had Fiers getting the start in this one. He went 6 innings, 7 hits, giving up 2 runs, both of those runs being earned. 1 walk, 4 strikeouts, and a home run given up. Unfortunately, we've kind of gotten used to Fiers giving up at least 1 homer when he goes out there because of being a fly ball pitcher, but definitely an improvement over the last time he was out on the mound. And, of course, you had Caperlin make his MLB debut in this game. He went 2 innings. He gave up a solo home run, but was able to calm down pretty much after that. And then you had Daniel Mignon pitch the final inning of this contest. So definitely nice to see the A's not having to play a back-and-forth nail-biter game. And it always is great to see the boys blow out that damn Halloween-colored team from across the bay. Boss, your thoughts on the finale of this 3-game series with the Giants?
Well, let's just be serious about things. The A's, for all intents and purposes, should have lost Friday and Saturday. But when you have a team as good as the A's and your team that's not so good as the Giants, when you allow for those first 2 games to occur that way, you had to know they had no chance coming into Sunday's game. Fiers looked better than he's had all year. You did give up the home run or whatever, but he looked more in control. He looked poised, and you're bound to be poised when you have the big inning that the A's had with Pender and for Scott and everybody, and Marcus Semien got into the act of playing home run derby with the Giants ballpark, things like that occur. And you know what? I really don't think there's anything that the Giants themselves really could do in that situation. There's just really nothing they had for the A's. I'm really happy to see everybody get involved. And when you beat teams down, it's fun like that for your fan base. I think the players understand with the Giants A's dynamic here in the Bay Area how much our fans love the glow in their face. And vice versa, they do the same with us, like they did last year when we lost the Battle of the Bay series. But it's another win. You feel very good about yourself. I think that brings you to 16-6, and then you travel to Arizona for 2 there and 2 back at the Coliseum. So it doesn't get any easier here. Take it all in. When you win, you feel real good about yourselves. But once that moment ends, you cannot relive it. You have to keep going forward. We're on a mission, and when you're on a mission like that, you have to keep your eyes on the prize. The Giants are not a good team, ladies and gentlemen, but a good team like Houston is chasing us. We're also trying to possibly get home field advantage in the playoffs, though. I mean, we don't know how the fan situation is going to be, but just in case, in October, some fans are let back into the stadiums, you want to be in front of your crazy fans of the green and gold. You just do. So I was satisfied, but I didn't get overly excited. I mean, it's fun to sweep the Giants, and, they absolutely assaulted them. But, hey, it's another ball game, and we have to treat it as such.
Yeah, it will definitely be interesting to see as time goes on here, and if the pandemic actually starts to get flattened out curb-wise a bit, if we are going to see fans back in any of the ballparks, and even if it does get to that point, we're still waiting really to see on if there's a possibility that they may or may not go with a bubble format for the playoffs, kind of like what we're seeing with the NBA, MLS, NHL, stuff like that. So it'll be interesting to keep tabs on what goes down with that as things goes on as well. And speaking of gloating, I swear, I think at times me and my main man here have at times kind of maybe rubbed off on Dave Covell a little bit too much. Because, man, Dave was having a blast just trolling the crap out of the Giants over the weekend, posting pictures of a quote-unquote bandwagon going down the streets of San Francisco. And it was funny because you apparently had some knuckleheads in the media and some Giants fans out there that actually thought that they literally were having a wagon going down the streets of San Francisco. So shout out to our man Rockstar for trolling the Orange and Black. And yeah, again, I think the dynamic duo may have rubbed off a little bit too much on our boy Rockstar. We're going to go and take our first break of the afternoon. When we come back, we will go ahead and take a look at that 2-2 series that went down in Arizona and back here at Oakland between your A's and the Diamondbacks. Don't go anywhere, folks. Show number 271 of A's Fan Radio will be right back at you in 10 seconds. Hey, I wasn't kidding. I said we'd be right back in 10 seconds. And hey, y'all got to just deal with these raw cut versions of the show until we're back at the new Dub 6 studios, got the Wi-Fi set up, and we can present A's Fan Radio to you like we normally do. But kind of a little interesting, a little bit of a twist, actually sitting here and doing the show without all the normal equipment set up. It's kind of almost like a flashback to the old days with just a tape recorder there trying to do this stuff. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is Internet Radio's most dynamic duo, Corporal Rightfield Asshole, coming at you from the Sweat Paddock, and the main man, the Boss Man, checking in from the Boss Pad in Alameda for show number 271 of A's Fan Radio, as we continue on with presenting and recapping for you the best of our abilities, everything that goes down in these shenanigans and crazy times that is the shortened 60-game 2020 MLB season. Let's go ahead and continue on with our game recap portions of this afternoon's show as we go ahead and get set to take a look at what went down between the 2-2 series that just wrapped up between your Oakland Athletics and the Arizona Diamondbacks. For those that aren't familiar with what I mean by 2-2, obviously, of course, this 4-game series started off with 2 games down at Chase Field in Arizona, which is, of course, where the Diamondbacks played, and then the other 2 games of that series, of course, being played up here at Rickey Henderson Field at the Ring Central Coliseum Let's go ahead and we'll start off, of course, first with the two games that went down in Arizona. And we'll begin, of course, by looking at what went down on Monday, August the 17th, to kick off this 2-2 series between our A's and the D-backs. Arizona would score first in this one when they would score a single run in the bottom of the third inning. They would also score 2 runs in the bottom of the sixth inning before Oakland would finally get on the board with 1 run in the top of the seventh and then ultimately tying up the contest with 2 runs in the top of the eighth. Unfortunately for your green and gold, they weren't able to muster across anything in the top of the ninth, and unfortunately the bullpen wasn't able to hold things closed to try to force extra innings in this contest either, as the Diamondbacks were able to get a hit to bring in a run from third and walk off on the A's in this one by the final of 4-3. Arizona 4 runs, 10 hits, 1 error. Oakland 3 runs, 6 hits, and 1 error. Crichton picking up the win for the Diamondbacks, improving to 2-0. Joaquin Soria, who's looked completely better than he's had in some of his previous, times with the A's. I mean, he's looked good. He's had his moments, but Soria's been honestly pitching his ass off this year. So kind of a little unfortunate to see him get roughed up late at the end of this one. Soria falling to 2-1 on the year. Home runs in this one over on the A's side, you only had 1. That one coming off the bat of Rotten Robbie Grossman, his 4th home run of the 2020 season. While over on the Diamondback side of things, you had Peralta hitting a shot as well for his 2nd home run of the season. Moving back over to see how the A's pitchers fared in this contest. You had Chris Bassick at the start. He went 5 1/3, 5 hits, 3 runs given up, all 3 of those runs being earned, 3 walks, 3 strikeouts, and a solo home run before, of course, Petit, McFarland, Wendelken, and Diekman came in to pitch things on the back end. So, Boss, I wouldn't necessarily say that the A's played themselves inadvertently into a trap game on this one because for those that have paid attention to either some of these recent shows or have been paying attention to some of the stuff we've been putting up on social media, it may be shocking to people, but the Diamondbacks possibly are a team you may not want to sleep on.
No, I don't think so. I think, Peralta, the Marte fellas, Ahmed, they have some guys that can hit the baseball. I was warning people after the sweep of the, what's their name, of the Giants, that this was not going to be easy. This is going to be rather tough. And don't think otherwise. Don't think that you automatically were going to just beat this team. I don't think it's smart to just go in there just thinking you're going to go into somebody's home and this is without Razor Ramon. You're just thinking, okay, yeah, man, we're going to do whatever. We're going to punk and bully whoever. It just doesn't work like that up in baseball, man. But baseball is a different game. There's no clock. There's a pitcher and a batter, and they dictate whether other people actually get involved in the game. I mean, catcher too. But I mean, those 3 people dictate, well, if you're going to be involved in the game or not. So it's just a different dynamic, man. And when you go down there, and there's no fans there, obviously, but when a team that's swinging a hot bat, as the Arizona Diamondbacks are, I mean, they just played the Padres, who were considered to be a playoff contender, and they just whooped them good. And then they whooped Colorado, whooped them good too. So those are two pretty good teams. Colorado kicked the A's, but they got to see them earlier in the year. I think during the first week of the season. So you don't go sleep on them. I mean, it was a good game. The A's are down 3-0. They came back. I mean, there was one segment where Chapman got the sacrifice fly. He almost took it off the park. He just missed it. But, Soria played pretty well. And give Crawford credit. He golfed a little base hit, got it through the hole. And, hey, man, we're not going to cry over spilt milk. We're not going to whine about it. Hey, we had a good run, and we were bound to lose. Brings the record of 16-7. It's all about how you bounce back the next day or not.
Yeah, and let's just kind of get to the point here when you speak about bouncing back or not. Let's just say that in the Tuesday contest on the 18th, there wasn't any sort of bouncing back, a little bit of no bouncing at all, as let's just put it this way, folks. The A's got thrashed in Tuesday night's contest as the Diamondbacks would open up things with a 5-run spot in the first and a 4-run spot in the second. The A's would only get one run in this contest, with that one run coming across at the top of that second inning. The Angels would score what would be their final run of the game in the bottom of the eighth as they just manhandled the A's in this one by the final at 10-1. Things got so bad, I think, by the third or fourth inning, yours truly here was just like, screw this, and I'm not going to lie. I took a nap, like in the fourth inning with this one. I was like, man, just chalk this one up as an L, and I'm pretty sure, if I remember, I saw Boss kind of did something similar as well. But again, 10-1 the final in this one. The Diamondbacks, 10 hits, 11 hits, no errors. Oakland, 1 run, 4 hits, and no errors in this contest. Weaver picking up the win for the Diamondbacks, improving to 1-3 on the year, while Frankie Montas got handed his second loss of the year, falling to 2-2 on this shortened 2020 season. Home runs in this one, you had nothing over on the A's side. Over on the Diamondbacks side, you had Amen hit his third home run of the year. Calhoun, yes, the same Cole Calhoun that used to murder the crap out of us when he played for the Angels, still doing it, but now he's doing it for the Diamondbacks. His seventh home run of the year, and he actually currently leads the Diamondbacks in home runs right now. And it's like, damn, I'm starting to get to the point now where it's like it's the only way to stop Calhoun from killing us is maybe to just acquire Calhoun at this point. But yeah, that's pretty much who ended up going deep for the Diamondbacks in this one. Pitching-wise, as mentioned, Montas, he only lasted an inning and 2/3 in this one. 6 hits, 9 runs given up, all 9 of those runs being earned. 4 walks, 1 strikeout, and gave up 2 home runs before Trevino and Megden came in to pitch out the back things of this. So, man, you weren't joking about guys shouldn't be sleeping on these Diamondbacks bats, man, but pretty sure at the same time we weren't expecting to see someone like Frankie Montas get smacked around like that in the first 2 innings of a game either.
No, I mean, you definitely were not expecting that, though. But you know what? Hey, shit happens. You know, I think probably the back was still not 100%. But you know, give the guy back. They were on his fastball. You know, his little sinker. It wasn't hitting and stuff though. You know, the off speed. It just didn't have it, and we got our asses kicked. You know, getting your ass kicked sometimes makes you better though. So I don't have much to say about this one. This one was not good to look at. As soon as it was like 6-1, I was like, man, you know what? This ain't it. This ain't it for us tonight. But it is what it is. Let's just take our L and take our L like men. You know what I'm saying? Don't worry about it. Don't fret, man. You just keep on pushing. Just keep on pushing.
And it pretty much seemed to be that's how the A's would end up taking it as well. As, of course, they would end up ultimately getting back onto the winning side of things when they would head back up here to Oakland for the remaining 2 games of this series. We'll go ahead and take a look first at what went down on Wednesday, August the 19th at Rickey Henderson Field at the Ring Central Coliseum. Oakland would score first in this contest when they would score 2 runs in the bottom of the first, 2 runs in the bottom of the third also. That would end up being the final time they would score in this one, but luckily for them, the Diamondbacks were only able to score once in this contest, that lone run coming across in the top of the 8th inning, as Oakland relatively quickly after 2 losses moves itself back onto the winning side of things, defeating the Diamondbacks this past Wednesday evening by the final of 4-1. Oakland 4 runs, 6 hits, no errors. Arizona 1 run, 6 hits, and no errors in the contest. Jesus Luzardo picking up the win as he improves to 2-0 on the year. Kelly taking the loss for the Diamondbacks. He falls to 3-2 on the year. And Liam Hendricks comes in to slam the door for the 8th time in 2020. Home runs in this contest, bat flipping season going on again at the Coliseum as Mark Hanna contributed for the lone A's home run in this contest. That is Mark's, looking at here, Mark's 3rd home run of the 2020 season. No home runs over on the Diamondbacks side of things in this one. Luzardo, of course, as mentioned, went 6 1/3 in this one, 4 hits, no runs given up, 2 walks, 7 punch-outs in this one, and did not surrender a long ball in the game. And then, of course, you had Petit, Soria, and Hendricks come in to pitch out the remaining 2 1/3 innings of this contest. So definitely a great game to see the A's bounce back, and just, man, hell of a pitching performance from the young rook who's earned the nickname of Baby Jesus.
Oh, man, it's still, man, this is what I am talking about right here. So this is what I want to see. These are things I want to see from him, where you show the ability to not only show perseverance, but you show ability to bounce back. You show ability to handle any business you have when you get out there on the mound. You're a professional. You're not a young guy. You're not in the minors no more. You are a professional pitcher for a premier historic franchise. You have to make things like this happen. You got to show why the trade and the investment in you was worth it. That guy did. He pitched masterfully. His location and that fastball, it is electric. When he has control of it, he's very hard to hit. And give credit to the A's jumping out there that 4-run lead to make the young man comfortable and able to take the third game of this home and home series.
Let's go ahead and find out what went down in the finale of this home and home series, with the finale, of course, going down last night at Rickey Henderson Field, which is the very reason why the show wasn't recorded last night, and it's being recorded on Friday instead. Here's what went down on August the 20th. Oakland would score first in this one when they would plant the first run of the game in the bottom of the first inning. They would score 2 more runs in the bottom of the fourth before the Diamondbacks, yet again for the second day in a row, would only score 1 bloody run in the game, the lone run for them this time coming in the top of the fifth. The A's would tack on 2 additional insurance runs in the bottom of the 8th inning, as they would go on to get the W and split this home and home series, with the Diamondbacks winning this one by the final of 5-1. Oakland 5 runs, 8 hits, no errors. Arizona 1 run, 6 hits, and no errors in this contest. Sean Manaea picking up the W and looking probably by far, up to this point, in my opinion, probably the best start Sean's had so far in 2020, and hopefully it's a sign of him finally turning the corner on things. Sean improving to 1-2 on the year, while Young took the loss for the Diamondbacks, falling to 1-1 on the season. Home runs in this one, pretty much everything was done by the Mats in this one. You had Matt Chapman, a.k.a. Manchap, using Bash twice in this one, and it was super effective twice in this contest, bringing his total on the year to 8. And, of course, you also had Matt Olson going deep in this one for the 9th time in 2020. Over on the Diamondbacks side of things, the lone home run they had, and their lone run, of course, coming off the bat of Escobar, Escobar's 3rd home run of the 2020 season. Pitching-wise in this one for the A's, Sean Manaea, he went 5 1/3, 5 hits, giving up 1 run. That 1 run being earned, no walks, 4 strikeouts, and of course he did surrender that lone home run that accounted for the Diamondbacks' lone run in this game. But again, definitely looked better out there than he had in a lot of his previous starts, and it was also nice to see Sean finally get through a 4th inning this year without getting smacked around like he had in his previous starts. You then had, of course, Wendelken, Petit, Diekman, and Hendricks pitch out the back end of things in this one. So definitely after some interesting games down in Arizona that resulted in losses, it was nice to see the A's relatively quickly turn things around with the final 2 games of this series.
Oh, definitely. Manaea needed it. He needed this, people. He needed it so bad. I don't know how else to even say it. His confidence is everything. With him not having the same velocity that he once had, and maybe it's probably mentally still messed up from pitching so well coming back in 2019 to having this disaster start in the wild card game. Because I ultimately think if Manaea's head is right, that the A's are a much better team and have the ability in the playoffs to make a run. But, having another lefty it is going to give us that ability. Having another lefty, actually a guy who has experience, without ability to have experience, he's a young guy, and you just don't know how guys react in that moment. Manaea, maybe he learned something from last year. Guys seem really determined. I think you can see the guys are really happy for Manaea. They just really did it. They interviewed him after the game. And he's just the same fun-loving guy that he always is. So I'm happy for Manaea. But, I have to preface and say this. I'm happy for him, but let me tell you something. Manaea, you still have a responsibility to pitch like that more times than not. We cannot afford for you to be having your issues throwing the ball and going for strikes and getting people out. There needs to be a man. Need you to man up. Make things happen. So it's a good thing. Last night was a good start, but you got to keep it going in the match. Especially Chapman, who is throwing absolutely fuego lumber out there, and he's going to keep on having him fuego lumber, I believe. I think everything is set up for him to do so, and you're just hoping and just praying that when it comes time late in the season in October, they're really doing that. But to get to October, you're going to have to win down for him. So, hey, quite happy, man, quite happy.
Speaking of things, and kind of maybe still a little bit too early to talk about October, but something I kind of wanted to throw at you real quick. And this is obviously from some discussions I've been having out there with some of our followers on Twitter and Facebook. Some people out there throwing out the idea that obviously one of the things we might need to look at acquiring before the either before or at the August 31st trade deadline is possibly a starting pitcher. Boss, what would be your thoughts on the Oakland A's possibly going after someone like, I don't know, maybe Trevor Bauer?
No.
Just out of curiosity, why?
Because, somebody, because the A's have a foreign-rich organization. We have totally dynamic prospects still coming up. I mean, the A's did it again with the draft. You just don't want to get ransomed again for a pitcher that's not going to be here in 2021. Now, you do have to take a risk, and the risk is you get him, and if you do win the World Series, is it worth it? I'm not so sure it is, though. Bauer, as good as a pitcher as he is, do you see him as really the missing link? I mean, is pitching really the A's problem? I don't think the pitching is the A's problem. I think the A's ability to manufacture runs when they're not hitting home runs, how they're able to score, I think that's the A's biggest weakness. The A's pitching has been pretty good, especially the bullpen and closing scenario. I think it takes time for pitchers to kind of get into their groove. So I don't believe Trevor Bauer is going to be the guy. He has a real funky and has a goddamn attitude about him. Sometimes that's cool, but I think with our laid back, kind of frat house fun time locker that we've had for the last 20 years, I question if he fits in because he's got a lot of confidence and arrogance about himself. But I do like the fact, though, if we were to get him, now he talks shit on the Astros. That part could be fun.
Yeah.
That part can be real fun. I mean, he's got playoff experience, he's got World Series experience. But if it was up to me, I'd say no. Now, if he was to come on, obviously I'm going to support the guy. Don't get me wrong. But I think we're going to roll with what we have. Because think about it, guys. When September comes, eventually at some point in September, what happens every year? You go down to 4 starters. You get into the postseason. It's going to be 4 starters for you any damn way. Who are your 4? If you think about it right now, who are your 4 starters right now? It's Rosardo, Montas, damn sure Chris Bassett. And you have to make a decision, you have 3 guys you have to make a decision out of. Is it Byers and Bassett, or is it Byers and Manaea, or Bassett and Manaea? I mean, you have time to really determine that, but I don't think you need to put another starter now. I think it does nothing to help you. I really do not think so. Because the playoffs become about pitching and defense. And he's got gloves. And we can pitch. I don't think it's good. Don't think it's a move. With Wilson swinging a hot bat before, I would have said, well, go get maybe somebody like Alex Gordon from Kansas City. I said that last year, but you know what? I say stand pat, guys. I think we have exactly what we need to make things happen in October. And I know, people are still thinking about what happened last year, but nah, man. Let's stand firm right here, guys. We all right. We all right.
You heard it right there from Bostradamus, ladies and gentlemen. And on that note, we're going to go ahead and take what will be our final 10-second break of this afternoon's broadcast. When we come back for our final segment, we will take a look at the upcoming matchups, take a look at the standings around Major League Baseball, and of course, hear mine and Bossman's final thoughts of the afternoon. Don't go anywhere. Final segment of show number 271 of A's Fan Radio coming at you in 10 seconds. Alrighty, there you go. There's our last 10-second break. Let's go ahead and get our last segment out of the way and rolling here so that way Boss Man can go on to enjoy the rest of the afternoon with the Boss family. And yours truly is getting prepped for going out to hang out, of course, with our good close friend Grizz Jones and the Forever Oakland crew right outside the Coliseum. Don't worry, of course, we all will be properly masked up. We'll be socially distancing, all that good stuff like Grizz and all them. You've probably seen them on TV the couple times they've been out there hanging outside 66 and Coliseum Way, watching the games on TV. So be good to go. The guys have been actually trying to get me to come out for a while now as a way to try to kind of help out with the whole healing process that I'm still going through following the death of my aunt several weeks ago. So feel free to come out there, or obviously, by the time y'all hear this, you may not have seen that, but if y'all see me out there, that's why I was out there. And also, I will be popping in briefly as a guest on Crystal Rosa's segment on Wild 94.9 tonight, and the reason being, don't know, just felt like it. I'm partially responsible for why Crystal's running amok over there on Wild 94.9 as I helped out with teaching her outstanding broadcast skills alongside Noemi Ziegler and the rest of the media department over there at Laney during the couple semesters that I TA'd at the broadcasting class. And Crystal's now gone on now to not obviously hosting the 7 p.m. to 12 a.m. Primetime slot on Wild 94.9 Mondays through Fridays, but that same show now airs on 5 markets throughout the country. So shout out to my apprentice, as I like to refer to her as, and it will be nice for Master and Apprentice to briefly reunite for a little bit on Wild 94.9 tonight. Don't know what we're going to talk about. I guess I'll find out when I call in. But anyway, welcome back to what will be the final segment of show number 271 of A's Fan Radio today. It is Internet Radio's most dynamic duel. Corporal Rifle Asshole up at the Sweat Paddock in the Oakland Hills overlooking the Coliseum. Boss Man, of course, on the phone, checking in from the Boss Pad in Alameda. And here's what's on tap for your Oakland Athletics over the course of the next week. The A's, of course, beginning a 3-game series tonight with the Anaheim Angels, who just wrapped up a series across the bay with the Suckfest Giants. Game 1, of course, going down tonight at 6:40 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Game number 2, of course, will be tomorrow, Saturday, August the 22nd. That'll be a 1:10 p.m. start time over at the Coliseum. And the finale of this 3-game series will be a 1:10 start as well on Sunday, August the 23rd. Now, of course, boss, as we all know, the Angels currently are the second team from the basement right now in the AL West. The basement, of course, is currently being inhabited by our boy Dre 206's Seattle Mariners. But as we have come to see so far this year, and obviously when we have played these guys in the past, I hate to say it, even with them being near the bottom of the division, I think we all know better than most that regardless of how good or crappy they are, you really can't sleep on the Anaheim Angels, especially with that heart of the order they got of Trout, Ohtani, and Rendon. Boss, your thoughts on what the A's are going to need to do to come out on top when everything's said and done on Sunday afternoon in this series?
Man, the A's need to do more of what they did the damn ninth inning in San Francisco. You have to figure out when guys get on base, you got to get them in. If the home run is not there, you don't have to swing for the fences. I really believe you really don't. In this series against the Angels, obviously they're going to be hot on the collar because they just got their ass beat by the Giants, and as well they took a pretty nasty, well, it was a nasty thing knowing that you had the guy Mike Trout, all-world player, get blown at a few times. Kind of pissed off. So they might come out a little hot. You see their best player get hit. So you just got to be prepared. And also, you got to have revenge on your mind. You blew a big game in Anaheim, the opening series when you were out there. And even crazier, you literally literally got the crap he got even next year. You're able to come and win the rubber matchup, but you owe these guys, man. So let's get for business, and then when you get there Sunday, you go ahead and clock them out and stuff, and you win another series at home. The A's have won. Correct me wrong. They won 8 straight at home. Now you hope that it can be 10 straight, maybe even 11 straight. But put yourself in a position. Teams in sports that get on win streaks, those are the teams that end up winning the last game of the year. The goal is to win the last game of the year to be the champion. You got to get on streaks to do it to get into that postseason. We feel good about ourselves after dropping 2 to Arizona. We don't won the last 2. Now it's time to start another streak. Because the A's are 18-8 going into this series. Think about it, people. If the A's go 18-8 over the next 26 games, their record is what? 36-16? Tell me my math is wrong. 36-16 with 8 games to go. Now, I don't know how the record's going to play out, but just imagine if you're able to still play great baseball and stay relatively healthy, and you're 36-16 with 8 games to go. How do you feel about your chances in October? You feel great. So, this series here goes a long way in just putting yourself in that position to possibly get home field advantage and to have more games in Oakland than not.
After, of course, the A's wrap up that 3-game series with the Angels, they will be heading out on the road to play 4 games in Arlington, Texas. This will be the A's first trip to the stadium that looks more like a feed barn on HGH. I'm talking about, of course, what is it, Globe Life Park? What do they call it? Is it Globe Life Stadium that they call the new park? Because the old one was Globe Life. It's Globe Life something down there, but honestly, the damn place looks like a fucking feed barn on damn steroids. 4-game series down there with the Rangers in this one. First game of the series going down on Monday the 24th at 5:05 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And there's 2, Monday, yeah. Monday will be a 5:05 game, as will the game on Tuesday, August the 25th, and Wednesday, August the 26th. And the finale of that 4-game series on Thursday, August the 27th, will be a 3:37 p.m. Start time. All those games, of course, as well as the 3 games against the Angels over the weekend, you can catch on either NBC Sports California, or you can tune in, of course, on A's Cast or Bloomberg 960 AM. Boss, your keys on what the A's will need to do to once again have success with messing with Texas at the feed barn on HGH.
Well, Texas, after looking kind of ugly the first 2 weeks of the year, they look better. They're putting themselves in the race for, the A seed, or, A seed, I guess, though, and the playoffs. They're doing the necessary things. They're hitting the ball better. They play some teams that are a little bit over mediocre, and they played them well. I think they've beaten the Padres in recent times, the Rockies, teams that are competing right now for a playoff spot in their respective divisions or what have you. They have played them well. I expect them to really come at the A's and play them well. I wonder, is this the first game for somebody in particular who, I didn't say who, last night swung the bat. He looked the best he had all year in the batter's box. This person I'm mentioning, and you can chime in anytime you want to, Keith, this person has feasted at Globe Life Park. A Globe Life Stadium or something different, but this person has feasted. He loved hitting in Texas ever since he came to the Athletics from Milwaukee. I'm talking about one Chris Davis.
Crush! Smash!
Does he have the same mojo there? This will be a great time for my guy because he looked better at the plate. I mean, he had quality at bats. He had 2 hits, and even the fly he had to right. He almost went opposite field. We know he loves to go opposite field in Texas. Can we see a bomb from him? Is it possible? Is it possible?
Yep.
That is my biggest thing. I want to see him get going because I've been so upset with him because if he can't get going, we're going to do what we have to do and have to probably put him on the bench or maybe keep him off the playoff roster if he can't hit. This is about winning. This isn't about friends. So I'll say this, guys. If Chris Davis is able to get some of his form back and he's able to hit the ball well, I really, really believe the A's batting lineup will be unstoppable. I think there's no way to deal with that lineup if Chris Davis is hitting like we saw him do in 2018 and and half of 2019. There's no way you'll be able to pitch them because somebody is going to have to see a fastball. Do you want Chapman to see a fastball? No. Do you want Olsen to see a fastball? No. Canna? Hell no. Someone's going to have to see a fastball, and it's going to be trouble. So the A's are much better if Chris Davis can get his head out of his ass, though. Because I love the guy, but I need him to be there. But this series coming up with Texas, this could be the catalyst right here that gets him, all right, F this, man. It's time to go. You already cut his hair. All right, now it's time to produce, buddy.
It'll be definitely interesting to see if Crush does revert back to doing what he's historically always done against the Rangers down there in Texas, which is, like you said, just murder the hell out of the ball. And it'll be interesting to see if the A's lineup's able to do stuff like they've been known to do down there as well. Because a lot of the reports that I've heard and read and have seen out there from some of these early games that have gone on down there, it sounds like the new ballpark is playing more like a pitcher's park compared to how the old park was, where you had the ball flying out. Damn near it seemed like every time it got smacked off the bat. And obviously a lot of that is because of them having the retractable roof on the new stadium, which is why I say the new stadium looks like a feed barn on steroids. But yeah, definitely will be interesting to see how much that is going to have an impact on Crush and the rest of the A's offense, or if it will have little impact at all, and Crush will just continue to crush the baseball by the power of Grayskull like he always had against the Rangers. Let's go ahead now and take a look at the current standings around Major League Baseball. Obviously, some of these are going to be a little bit fluctuating off because there's games going on right now as we speak. We'll start off first in the AL West, where your Oakland Athletics sit on top in the division at 18 and 8. 18 and 8. By the way, currently the best record in Major League Baseball. Just with knowing that, by the way, Billy Bean, if you're listening, don't do a repeat of the fucking Cespedes for Lester trade just because we have the best record right now, obviously. You heard the main man. He already said at this point probably stand pat. So the A's stand on top of the West with a record of 18 and 8. The Houston Astros are 2.5 games back, though, of them, as they've been playing on a bit of a hot streak lately themselves. They're 15 and 10. The Texas Rangers are 10 and 14. The Anaheim Angels, who are coming into town, of course, this weekend to play the A's, have the reverse record of the A's, which is 8 and 18. And our boy Dre's Seattle Mariners sitting in the basement of the division with a record of 8 and 19. Rest of the AL looks like this at this point in time. Over in the AL East, the Tampa Bay Rays, after sweeping the New York Yankees over the last couple of days, have moved into first place. But they're only a half game up on the Yankees right now. Tampa Bay 17 and 9, and the Yankees are 16 and 9. In third place, you have the Toronto/Buffalo Blue Jays at 12 and 11. The Baltimore Orioles are in the fourth spot at 12 and 13. And at the bottom of the division are the Boston Red Sox at 8 and 18. Finally, to wrap things up with the American League standings over in the Central, you have yet another team that Bostradamus told y'all to watch out for because of the power they have in their lineup. Talking, of course, about the Minnesota Twins, who are currently 17 and 9. The Cleveland Indians are 16 and 9. They're only a half game back of the Twins right now at this point. You have the White Sox in the middle of the pack at 15 and 11. The Kansas City Royals are in the fourth spot at 10 and 15. And the Detroit Tigers are in the bottom at 9 and 14. Boss, your take so far on how things are looking at this point in time with the AL standings?
The class of the AL, the Yankees, and the A's. The Yankees are hurt right now, but that's why they were able to get beat down a little bit by the Rays over this week. But I still think the Yankees are the best team in the AL East. Them along with us are the teams I really think are the World Series contenders. That's just my estimation. Minnesota too, for that matter. When Donaldson gets back, I have to complete their lineup, but they're back. They're starting to be able to hit the ball again. I really think that that's a formidable team. But I do like what the Rays have been doing as of late, though. The Rays are hitting the ball. They're playing some good defense. They're playing fire baseball. They look like the team that beat the A's and took the last year. So they look good. Baltimore, who was looking good, they kind of slacked off. Been a feel-good story to see a team such as Baltimore, who was not expected to do anything, compete, but they've kind of slacked off lately. Down the road has not looked good himself. But let me see. I look at Houston is doing well, guys. Okay, Houston was on an 8-game win streak. Yeah, we expected them that they're gonna try to not lay down. I don't think they're as good as the A's, but they are a formidable opponent. We just have to be on the lookout for that. And I think that Texas showing the ability to win some games, and I think it was the right thing. I didn't at first think about. I think it was the right thing to do to have 7th and 8th place teams or in the AL, whether they're second place team or not in their respective divisions, to have a chance to get in. It gives a lot of people a lot of hope, something to play for, play for. And also the White Sox too as well, and the Indians. I think those are teams that are going to really be competing for that, and you're just going to have to be ready though. If you are playing in the respective divisions, you have to be ready to beat your opponents that you normally go against, though. That's in your division. That's really what it's going to take to really push on through. And I think that people can feel good. I like what I see in baseball thus far. The games have been entertaining and they mean something because so many people can make it. So I'm satisfied with that as a baseball fan.
Let's go ahead now and switch things up from the junior circuit to the senior circuit and see how things are looking over in the NL standings at this point in time. Over in the NL East, you have the Atlanta Braves on top with a record of 14-11. The Miami Marlins, who of course were one of the first teams in the early get-go to have things shut down on them because of COVID-19 running rampant in the clubhouse, have finally gotten back into the mix of things. They're currently 9-9 in the second spot. The New York Mets are 12-14, but have ran into apparent issues of the virus in their clubhouse now as well. I believe I remember hearing something about potentially the Subway Series being canked over the weekend, and makes you kind of wonder if Yoenis Cespedes pulled a Thomas and foresaw this coming with the Mets, and which is why maybe he opted out. But God, just continues to show how much of a shit show the New York Mets have turned into over there, and why they're in just desperate need of new ownership. Just can't get a break on anything there in Queens right now. The Phillies are in the fourth spot with a record of 9-12, and that actually has them tied for the bottom of the division with the Washington Nationals. Your defending World Series champs are in last place currently with the same record as the Phillies, 9-12. Over in the Central, you have the Chicago Cubs on top with a record of 16-8. The Cardinals are in the second spot with a record of 7-7. Obviously, they're going to, another team right there that had coronavirus issues, and they're still trying to figure out how the hell they're going to make up all these games for them, with obviously they have more games to play than there's days left, so it's going to be real interesting to see how that whole situation gets sorted out. The Brewers are in the middle of the pack right now with a record of 11-12. The Cincinnati Reds are in the fourth spot at 10-13, and obviously just had a big-ass controversy with one of their radio announcers saying some stuff on the air that he shouldn't have, and I really hope the Reds make an example of him and fire his ass that way.
He got his ass cut. He got sliced.
Okay, good to go. Thank you for that update, boss. Good. The example's got to be set to let it be known that crap can't be taken in broadcasting anymore. And finally, at the bottom of the Central, kind of where they've set up shop, unfortunately, on and off for the last 2 decades, it seems like, with some minor playoff runs here and there, are the Pittsburgh Pirates. They're 4-17. They only got 4 wins on the year. Wow, that sucks. If you're a fan of the Pirates right now. Finally, to wrap things up in the NL, we head to the wild NL West, where you got the Dodgers on top with a record of 19-18. The San Diego Padres are in the second spot with a record of 15-12 and are slowly beginning to not be called San Diego anymore, and they're starting to become Slam Diego. Down there is Fernando Tatis Jr. and just a whole bunch of other cats are just unloading on pitching staffs right now. The Colorado Rockies in the middle of the pack with a record of 13-12. The Arizona Diamondbacks just wrapped up that 2-2 series with us, are 13-13. And at the bottom of the NL West with a record of 11-16 are the San Francisco, a.k.a. Suckfest Giants. Boss, your thoughts on things over on the NL side as of today?
Well, we know the cream of the crop in the senior circuit is definitely the Los Angeles Dodgers and Chicago Cubs. I love what the Cubs have done as an organization after, severing ties with Joe Madden. It seems like that they're revamped, and Yu Darvish pitched well. Hendricks and stuff. So they've had that thing together. They're hitting the ball. Look like they're having fun again. I'm actually happy for the North Sider. The Cardinals, after missing a lot of games, they have a lot of ground to make up. They played well since coming back to play games, so that'll be interesting to see. But that division, the NL Central, to me, is just not strong. The Brewers they've just lost so much since their NLCS appearance 2 years ago. I don't think that I don't believe that they're a playoff team. Period. Right now, the Reds were thought to be a playoff team, but the Reds, something is missing. Joey Votto, obviously not being there. That's something that will affect any team, but something is just missing there that I can't put my finger on. They have, Bauer, who we mentioned earlier, and Sonny Gray, former pretty good pitchers for them, but they just don't. I don't think they have talent enough to do anything to get to where they need to get to. Pirates are garbage. I love the Padres. I just love the energy that they play. Fernando Tatis Jr. Holy shit, though, man! What a star! A star. Possibly a superstar. He has pizzazz, bravado, charisma. He's got a little bit of arrogance. I love it. Along with Manny Machado, who's another asshole, but a very talented asshole. And they got Eric Hosmer, and then they got some young pitchers too. San Diego is an exciting team in the future. I'm happy to see them come up, and I would like for them to make the playoffs. I think it's good for the city of San Diego. My heart goes up to San Diego because they experienced what we experienced with the NFL, getting screwed over. So, you root for towns like that, underdog towns. So we got a good thing going on over there, and the Rockies are not far behind. And with Diamondbacks playing well as of late, I think they won 7 out of their last 10. It's really interesting what's going on over there for the fight for second place over in the NL West. But I waited to talk about the NL East. I think everybody has a chance to win that division. All 5 teams, Miami, Atlanta, Philly, Washington, and the Mets, they have a great chance of really doing something special as far as winning the division and getting into that postseason. They're all log jam. They're all beating up on each other as of late, if you see it. Atlanta, they'll beat the Marlins, and then they'll play Philly and the Nationals. They'll beat up on the Marlins and lose to the Mets. I mean, they're all beating up on each other. I think that's something that's going to go down the last weekend of the season. You can just see it happening, and I think it's great for baseball. It's going to be really exciting over there in the NL.
Definitely going to be interesting to see all the races going down in all the divisions in baseball. That wraps up the standings for this edition of A's Fan Radio. And speaking of which, since we happen to be talking Fernando Tatis, I just wanted to put out there, by the way, to you youngsters out there that are starting out in your baseball careers and all that, and you end up going to the pros, if you want to hit a ball out on a 3-0 count, I don't care if the bases are loaded, if the bases are empty, your team's up by I don't care how many runs at this point. If you have the ability and the talent to smack a ball out of the park on any pitch in any given count, screw what someone like the manager of the Rangers is saying and getting all butthurt and da-da-da-da-da and all that stuff. You got the ability to smack a grand slam on a 3-0 pitch with the bases loaded. Do it. Go for it. And yet again, another one of these stupid, idiotic, unwritten rules that just needs to go out to pasture and die already. That's not my final thought, by the way. I just wanted to throw that out there real quick. But on that note, boss, why don't you go ahead and lead us on out of here at the end of this afternoon's show with your final thought of the afternoon.
I am with you on that. Look here, you don't want the home runs to be. Hey, tell your guy not to get in the position of a 3-0 count. Throw the ball over the fucking plate. How about that? It's really simple. It ain't hard. You guys are making it harder than what it really needs to be. But at the same time, Fernando Tatis, you doing that, you're going to put yourself in a position to maybe take a few balls to the head or to the shoulder. I mean, it's just like that sometimes. But hope he's safe. I hope it doesn't go that way. But hey, you guys are professional ranks though, man. You gotta stop the guy from scoring or tagging you out or striking you out, whatever. I mean, I'll say this before I get to my final point. Guys, when they get RBIs, steals, and they add on, that helps become contract time. It just does. These players are playing for money too. Let's not be naive, guys. They want to make that money. They want to get that dough. They do. And who are we to tell them that they can't? I'm not comfortable doing that. I'm not comfortable doing that to anybody, man. Tell them they can't do it, what it takes to get their money. Because when it's over, it's over. You don't get, all those big, contracts and, those endorsement deals when you're out of the game. Not like that when you're playing. So if Fernando Tatis steals 2 or 3 home runs and is able to be the league leader in home runs, well, when contract time comes, what does that do for him? That gives him ability to say, hey, I should be able to make more. I was one of the best players. I deserve this contract for $200 million. Hey, God, it's bigger than baseball. Guys looking out for their future too. And they have to. For my final thought, not too much of a final thought. It's just everybody, please stay safe. Wear your mask. I just saw a video that was very disturbing in Florida of cats saying, about the coronavirus, man. That stuff's nothing but a hoax, nothing but population control. Sometimes some people read too many goddamn fucking books, though, man. This is a real damn virus. This is a real pandemic. People are losing their lives. Oh, they already have pre-existing conditions. Are you serious? Are you serious? All of us in some shape or form are not 100% in life. In order to think you're going to have something wrong with you, those people deserve to live. Their family, their kids, their grandkids deserve to be around them as long as possible. And if this thing would have been handled better by leadership in Washington, D.C. and abroad, we wouldn't have been having all this tragedy with COVID-19. So people, please don't be as stupid as these people. And I have people who are from Florida. I live in Florida. My family is from Florida. And they don't believe in what these guys are. These guys are not a representation of everybody feels in Florida. But it was sad to see that video. I saw that video this morning. And these people just don't get it. Like, we've seen examples in articles from people who did not take it serious. And they have ventilators hooked up to them. Or they're sick or, they're close to death. They're like, man, I shouldn't have did this. So people, please take it serious, man. Wear your mask and be safe out here while the air is all messed up. Anyhow, Boss Man is getting to his weekend. Keep a bottle of tequila looking directly at him. It's time to work. All right.
Boss Man, you take care and you enjoy that bottle of tequila you're about to break out that you're staring at right now. As always, ladies and gentlemen, for the latest information pertaining to your number one source for everything and anything on your Oakland Athletics, be sure to check us out at A'sFanRadio.com. Like us on Facebook at Facebook.com/A'sFanRadio. Follow us on Twitter at A's_fan_radio. And of course, once we got the Wi-Fi hooked up at the new Dub 6 studios, we will resume our live broadcasts over on twitch.tv/A'sFanRadio. And for situations in the future like these shows right here, we have a YouTube channel now that we're going to upload that stuff to, and we might use that for other stuff outside of things on the Twitch channel. Of course, at some point, we'll get the address for our YouTube channel to y'all. Just I'm obviously waiting to get that all set up with the recording of this show and the 2 previous shows that we have done and haven't been able to upload. But, hey, crazy times, we're not able to do what we would normally do and, hem up some homeboy to use their Wi-Fi or all that. We could, but we're trying to be fair given the fact that, we got this pandemic going on and trying to avoid any inadvertent cross-contamination. Pretty much, I'm going to echo similar statements to bosses. Obviously, again, continue to follow the protocols and the guidelines out there that are in place for the pandemic. Again, it is serious, folks. There are individuals out there that myself and Boss know from our fan base that have caught the stuff and are recuperating from it at the moment. And it's no joke. Stop sitting here and thinking that it's some sort of scam, it's some sort of fake stuff. It's not. This thing is real, people, and you need to really take it seriously. And even more so with what's going on right now with all this smoke in the air from all these various fires that are burning not just in the Bay Area, but up in farther up in Northern California, and even all the way down in Southern California, and even in parts of Nevada. As you know, and it just seems like my family just can't catch a break right now. My brother was evacuated from where he was staying at a couple days ago because of fires going on up there in the Reno Tahoe area. So it's like, damn, man, you just, finally you're getting over what happened with us back in July, and then this happened. So definitely, again, continue to follow the protocols that are in place so that way we can get this damn thing curbed and return to somewhat of a, pre-COVID-19 life out there. And also, again, take it even more seriously and more precautiously because of all the smoke in the air. Now, some of you are probably looking at me crazy because the fact that I mentioned I'm going to go out and hang out for a bit with the boys over there on 66 Avenue and all that. But that's because, again, I'm going to have my mask on. I'm going to be following protocols that Grizz and all them have had in place. And, obviously if it gets to a point where I'm not feeling comfortable out there because of the smoke, hey, I'm no dummy. I'll take my butt inside, which is what obviously all of y'all should do. But, for real, just do what you can. Be safe out there. Don't do anything stupid. And just follow the guidelines and be careful. Because, there's just a lot of people just getting impacted by these fires going on. There's an individual out there, I'm not going to name who this individual is, but a close friend of ours here at the show and somebody that a lot of us in the fan base knows, who was concerned that possibly that her house may have burned down up there in the fires in the hills. And also several people I know from the fan base that have been affected by fires going on out by Mount Diablo and all that. So just, be safe out there, everybody, and just do what you can to avoid the smoke and obviously continue to do what you've been doing to not catch the virus. And on that note, as always, the views and opinions of our cast, our guests, and our listeners are in no way, shape, or form affiliated with the Oakland Athletics or Major League Baseball. Yeah, I know this is kind of a little bit of a weirder outro than what y'all are used to, but hey, this is what happens when, again, we're not doing the normal commercial breaks and the music and all that with the show. So on that note, good afternoon, Walter Haas. Good afternoon, King Al. Your son's still a punk-ass bitch. I can't believe he's going to call the new stadium in Vegas the Death Star. You kidding me? That's about as lame as you moving the team to Vegas altogether. I wish you would just hurry up and unleash your karma on your son so we can lose that franchise and the name can somehow get back to Oakland. And, of course, good afternoon, chesty pullers. You continue to overlook the spirits and the bodies of the Marines past, present, and future out there. And, of course, good afternoon to you, Auntie. Love you and miss you. Keep guiding these A's to victory and win for Diana. Y'all take care. Be safe out there. Don't do anything stupid. Wrap it before you tap it. Don't drink and drive. All that same bullshit I got told on every safety brief when I was in the Marine Corps, because we want to see y'all back here for when we do the next edition of the show, which, of course, we will be recording next Thursday night at 8 p.m. Don't know yet if it's going to be here or at the new Dub 6 Studios, and even if it is the new Dub 6 Studios, it's still going to be a while before we get the internet set up there. We'll let you know about that, and obviously it'll be great when we're able to return to doing this show like how we normally do. So that's it for this one. Take care, everybody. Good afternoon, Oakland and beyond, and as always, be sure to stay Oakland, my friend.